The story out of Maui is certainly one that is absolutely devastating. The number of people killed, we still don't have a final death toll. The damage estimates. We know 100 people are confirmed dead from those wildfires that destroyed more than 2,000 structures, homes, and other buildings, some over a century old. Authorities estimating it could cost over $5 billion to rebuild the popular destination of Lahaina alone. But this morning, a sign of hope for those who are praying for Maui's recovery. Maria-Lanakila Catholic Church, it opened more than 175 years ago. Look at that beautiful structure, is still standing tall, untouched by the flames. Reverend Monsignor Terrence Watanabe is here live with me. Good morning to you, Reverend. Thank you for being here. This church, standing since 1846, that's just amazing. Spared
Yes.
while all the other buildings around it seem to be destroyed. Was somebody praying that the church would be untouched, or was everyone shocked when they went to the property after that fire rolled through?
I think they were shocked. I mean, we really see this as an incredible miracle, so to speak. Spiritually, we always, look for the presence of God in our world, whether it's a rainbow or whether, it's other people's love for us or whatever. It's nice to know that God is with us and that his love and his presence is there.
Yeah.
It is amazing because right behind the church is the convent and the preschool and two school buildings, plus the parish hall, and all of that burned. But
Wow.
the church and the rectory next door to the church did not burn. And Father Koikose, who's the pastor there, went into the church 2 days after, and the inside of the church, nothing is touched. There's no damage. And the even greater thing was the fact that there were flowers at the foot of the altar, and those flowers were not withered from the heat.
I mean, you just keep on giving more evidence of mercy over that
Yeah,
chapel.
exactly.
It reminds me of the 17th century St. Paul's Chapel in New York City, which George Washington, historically, he prayed inside after being sworn in as
Right.
president. Somehow it was not damaged, even though it's next door to the World Trade Towers on 9/11. It became a place of consolation for emergency responders. Is the same thing happening at your church? Are people coming in spite of maybe losing everything, in spite of the fact that perhaps they can't go home, but they can come to pray?
Yeah. My church is actually St. Anthony's in Wailuku, which is on the other side of the island. We're in central Maui. But at Maria Lanakila, the government, nobody can go into the town yet.
Oh, okay.
So Maria Lanakila has another church, which is out in Kapalua. So this past Sunday, yes, the other day, Bishop and I and a few other priests, we were able to get in with the permission of the Maui Police Department to go and celebrate Mass with the parishioners at 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday.
Well, that's
So
lovely.
that was a wonderful experience. Yeah. And it was just tragic and heart wrenching to hear their stories
Right.
and all all that they've been through, and how some of them even were trapped in their car because the traffic backed up, and they actually got out of their car and ran through the flames in order to get out. And
I, I,
they were safe.
I can't imagine just feeling of just utter despair. Really quickly, Reverend, can you just
Yes.
pray a little prayer for those who are struggling? I think that many people would want to hear what you, being there in Maui, would say about what they need and what their hope should be in.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. One of the things I think that's important for people to understand is, because sometimes when these kinds of tragedies happen, we, just kind of wonder, how could God, the good God, let all this kind of tragedy take place? And I think, what's important is, you can be angry with God. He's a big boy and he can handle it, so no problem. But I think, the worst thing would be, to give God the silent treatment and not talk to him. And, this past Sunday's gospel, when we read it at the church, was incredible because basically it was Jesus calling on Peter to walk on water. And, Peter stepped out of the boat and trusted in the Lord and started to walk on water. But then when the winds came, he started to sink. Jesus was there to pull him back out of the water. So, two things. One is that's what we're being challenged to do, I think, is the fact that, the Lord's calling us to walk on water and do the impossible, but at the same time to trust in him. And yes, there are going to be times of doubt and fear because this is long range for us, the work that is ahead of us. And, there are going to be times when we doubt and but hopefully we continue to turn to the Lord and continue to call out to him. And Peter called out and said, Lord, save me. And hopefully we keep doing that as
Right.
well.
Absolutely.
To save these people and save us. Yeah.
Yeah, and certainly hope that people who are displaced, people who don't know where their loved ones are, that they get reconnected very soon. Reverend Monsignor Terence Watanabe, thank you very much for being with us
so much
early this morning.
Appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate
Thank
you. Wow.
God bless.
Fantastic to see that church still standing.
Yeah.
A blessing.
And to hear his words of wisdom and inspiration and hope.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.